Hey, this is Jamey from Stillmeyer Games, and today I'm going to talk about my favorite mechanisms in Praga Caput Regni, the latest game from Vladimir Suchy. This is, at its heart, I guess, an engine building game. I'm looking at photos here. I don't own the game, but I did play it just the other day. And you're doing I don't know, you're doing a lot of different things. You're building a wall. You are moving some cubes around in one mechanism that I never quite understood. You're building a bridge. You are building your own. You're building the entire city of Prague as well as your own little section of that city. And there are a couple mechanisms in this game that I really liked. One thing is I'm doing a video soon about rewarding games that give you rewards constantly, and this is very much so a rewarding game. Everything you do gives you at least one benefit, often two benefits, and that ties into the central action selection mechanism, which I really like. And it's this dial right here. On your turn, you are going to select one of these tiles. This is a connected double hex tile. You're going to select that tile. You're going to gain the benefit associated with it on the wheel, and then you'll gain one of the benefits. So you'll choose one of the hexes on this tile and gain it. And then you'll insert it back into the dial and rotate the dial clockwise one space. So like I said, you're getting at least two benefits here, possibly more based on how you've upgraded your city so far. And it's a very simple, streamlined action selection mechanism that has player interaction because you're impacting what other players are doing. They have to pay attention to it. But it's also very easy to plan ahead for it because there are duplicates of all these tiles around here. So this tile right here is the upgrade your quarry or mine for stone, and then upgrade the city of Prague. And this tile over here is the same thing. And so if I'm planning my turn to use this tile, or to use this one's cheaper, and then someone takes it, I can still use this one. It just maybe costs me a coin. Like this is a coin cost. It goes up to 2 coins in this area that costs coins. There's areas that don't cost any coins, and then there's areas even over here, if no one has selected these tiles for a long time, where you get additional victory points. So I really like how easy it is to plan ahead for your turn, because even if someone takes the tile you want, there's another tile there that is the exact same thing and might just cost a coin or two. I really like that action selection mechanism. I also really like that you are building your own area in addition to the central city. So there's some, I was actually on the wrong side of the board to build the city, and so I paid very little attention to that. I focused a lot more on my own little city here, where you have this hexagonal tile that you start out with the game, and you place tiles on top of it, more hexagonal tiles on top of it, to upgrade the core actions. So these 6 things represent the core actions that you can take in the game, and one of the actions you could take on this dial is to place new tiles here that upgrade those core actions. There's no spatial reasoning really for the upgrades themselves, but there's a little bit of spatial reasoning connected to these icons here. I won't go into that, but I love the idea of upgrading these actions. It's very intuitive. You grab a tile and you put it on your mat to upgrade it. But in addition to that, because this represents like a little town center, you have the option of building walls around this area to gain additional benefits. So there's a gray tile type that you can grab, and you can only build it around the edges. Again, it ties into the spatial element a little bit here. And these give you one-time bonuses. They have a cost, and they give you, like everything else in the game, they give you multiple benefits. So they give you multiple benefits when you place them. And so I just really like this own little personal area that I'm building up, that I'm upgrading, that I'm sinking into with the spatial element. That was really cool. The other thing I wanted to mention in this game is that there are some really clever UI elements, user interface elements regarding some cubes. So I don't have a photo of it here, but I can show one of the things. On your player mat, there are dials where you are gaining stone and gold coins. And if you move the dial past a certain point, you unlock a cube, and you can use the cube for something else in the game that I won't go into. And when you gain that cube, you gain the benefit underneath of it. And the game kind of physically reminds you of this because the dial itself, the cube blocks the dial itself from turning. So if you are ready to turn the dial past the point where you would gain that benefit, the cube is on this dual-layered player mat, and it blocks the dial from turning. So it's just a physical reminder that, hey, it's now it's time to take that cube. The game also does this on a round-by-round basis because built into the board, So you have this little cube that's on top of the dial and it goes around the board. And built into the board itself, underneath this dial, is a little hole that the cube can drop into when you reach the end of the round. So when this dial makes a full spin, the cube actually drops down and you can't turn the dial. Again, it's kind of like those resource dials because it's the end of the round. And there's not much upkeep at all at the end of the round. All you're doing is advancing a cube to remember, hey, this round is over, move on to the next round. But I like that it is, again, a physical reminder that it's time to move on and move on to the next round. I thought that was just a really clever element of UI, user interface that the producers of this game built into the game. So yeah, those are my favorite mechanisms. Really clever use of a component there. I'd love to hear what you think. If you have played Praga Caput Regni and you have some thoughts, or if any of these mechanisms remind you of other games that you've played, feel free to talk about them in the comments as well. Thanks.